Hiya, my name's Pete, welcome to the channel. On this episode we're going to be following the Yeadon branch line. It's closed now, but it's a pleasant walk and we'll get up there and I hope you like it. So our first call is where it left the main line. So from Guiseley up there, this way going to Leeds and Bradford. You can see over there the embankment coming up, rising up. It is quite a rise. And what we'll do is we'll go to the gate up here of where the line came off towards Yeadon. So that's where we were just looking up here. This comes up at quite a gradient, I don't know if you can see that on there, and it will have crossed right here. Now you can see where that would have crossed up there, it would have gone straight over here. That there was all mills. There is a picture taken from about there, so I'll match that up and put that in for you now. And I know that was taken from over there because we're on an embankment. And if you look closely at the bottom left of that picture, you'll see a water outlet. Now that is all covered in at that side these days. But I don't know if you can hear that. But that is that side, and this is roughly where it would have come out here. So we're on quite a steep embankment at this point. The Yeadon Railway was opened in 1894. Its main purpose was to serve the mills, because at either side of this line it was mill country. Now all those mills have gone and it is residential. The line was opened in 1894 and closed in 1964. Now it is quite a high embankment that I'm on, and I am stood approximately where that locomotive was on the before and after picture I've just shown you. Now our first crossing will be Milner Crossing, which was an unmanned level crossing. Where we've just been, that was also a level crossing. I remember cars and trucks weren't invented, so these things were for pedestrians and horse and cart basically, and we'll go up to Milner Crossing next. As we look at it today, it's quite wide, but it was originally nothing more than a narrow track. And then next we're heading up here. We'll continue along this very popular little walk. You can see how nice that looks. Now this was all cut in and it has all been backfilled. Not quite level with the land. And up there we should be coming to a bridge. We can see the embankment at that side and the embankment at that side. So I believe our first bridge will be on New Road. Now it was first proposed in 1881, this railway, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. The station for Yeadon was first proposed in 1881 when the North Eastern Railway were approached to build a line between Horsforth and Guiseley and Yeadon. The North Eastern declined to be involved, so the promoters of the railway sought assistance from the Midland Railway instead. With some support from the Midland Railway, the Guiseley, Yeadon and Rawdon was formed and obtained in 1885 an Act of Parliament to build a branch line from Rawdon Junction to Yeadon, a distance of just over 1 mile. In 1881, the company obtained parliamentary approval for an extension of the line as far as Headingley. At the same time, the company changed its name to the Guiseley, Yeadon and Headingley Railway Company. Despite the additional powers, the company was unable to raise the necessary capital to even build a line as far as Yeadon. Instead, the Midland Railway took over and built the line from Rawdon to Yeadon. Yeadon station opened to goods traffic on the 26th of February 1894. And despite being equipped with the necessary facilities for passengers, the Midland Railway did not introduce regular passenger service on the line. Post-grouping, the station came under control of the London, Midland and Scottish Railway, who continued the practice of no regular passenger traffic, although it was used for excursion trains until the 1950s. During the Second World War, there was an increase in freight traffic due to an Avro aircraft factory being established at nearby Leeds Bradford Airport. But in spite of this demand, the line was closed due to wartime economy measures in 1944. After the war, the line reopened, but the amount of traffic was never great and a decision was made to close both the station and the branch line, with the last train running on the 7th of August 1964. Now, as you can see, we are approaching a bridge. This is an overpass for a roadway. Excuse me. Now, this will tell you how much this has been filled in over the years. Now, we can see the embankment at that side, just up through them trees. Here's your railway bridge, obviously in good condition with it being used, and we will go up and have a quick look as well. We've still got soot up there, but you can see down here just how much that has been backfilled. And again, you can see the soot everywhere on there. Not in too bad a condition, it is maintained. That there's just where we went through the bridge, and all the bridges have access to the surface to the roadways. You gotta remember there was mills everywhere here, and this is what we're like on top of the bridge. And I'll give you a view down. It has been New Road. And that is where our track bed was. This one here. And we'll go back down now. We'll just have a look at the brickwork around the edge. And as we leave the bridge over New Road, we can almost see our next bridge straight away. There are 3 bridges in quick succession. That one there behind us, where we've just been, is always a busy road. This one here was much less busy. It was more of a pedestrian way for people to access work, and it's called Walkhouse Lane Bridge. And what we'll do is we'll go on the top of this one as well, and when we get there, as we approach, we can just see how deep this cutting would have been from the embankments up there to how much this has been filled in. You can see our plinth there for the arch. It's been filled in at least 12 feet, I would have said. And again, we can see soot on the brickwork. And this is what we're looking at from this side. And we'll go back up onto that bridge and I'll show you this roadway. I've just come back a few yards so you can see the bridge from here, and everywhere has walkways onto the road above, so that this beautiful pathway can easily be accessed. Now this is a narrow bridge. As you can see, these are all modern buildings. You can see an old building there that used to be part of a mill. And we'll have a look at the track bed from over this. The track bed being there, we'll go over this side. And track bed there, all backfilled, and we can already see our third bridge there. Now these rows of houses were here with the railway in use, and this row, and what I want to draw your attention to is the shape of that building there being off at an angle. Look at that, because there are some aerial photographs of these bridges that I am going to show you. I'll put one in now so that you pay attention to the angled house that is next to this bridge. Now leaving Walkhouse Road Bridge behind us, and we can get more of a shot of the embankment and the house at an angle, which was here when the railway existed. Built after the railway because of the shape of it. So that's Walkhouse Road Bridge there, and in quick succession we have St John's Road Bridge. Again, we are in a cutting. It was one deep cutting all the way now, all the way through to Henshaw Lane just about. And you can see the plinths on here where the arches end. Now it will have been at least 12 foot deeper than what you can see there. But this is another maintained bridge because the road over the top is in use. As you can see, some bricks have come away there, but it has been mortared up. Under the bridge we've still got some soot, a lot of patchwork for this bridge. And this side again, where the brickwork has come away from the arch. We've still got some metal work up there, and there, and there. It looks like it was a gutter. And we'll go up on top of this bridge as well. So there we are from above it. And this is our way through. Of course these were never footpaths when it was a railway, but we can see this one is still not much more than a track. Bollards to stop vehicles going over it, or heavy vehicles anyway, because some cars have been through here. And what we'll do is we'll peep over, look down at the track bed there, and down at that side. That bit is the direction we've come from. Now this way is the direction towards the station. We'll get back on that track bed. That is the bridge we've just been to, St John's Road. That gives you a better perspective on how much this track bed has been filled in. And we can see the steep embankments at either side there. And this is all infill. Now a public footpath, and it's such a beautiful day to be walking down here today. Now if you are local to here, you'll know this footpath very well. You might be spotting a fence there. This is nothing to do with the railway. There is no original woodwork anywhere around here. You may see these plinths here and think that's railway related. I can tell you it's not. These were benches, seats put in at a later date after the railway was made to a public footpath. It does have some kinks and bends in it, as you may have seen as we're going along. Mainly it's in the cutting, and we're just following the top of the infill really. Whereas we would have gone straight through there and not round this corner. So we're walking up towards Henshaw Lane. Now if you are local and you remember this railway line, please write something in the comments on the video. Tell us some stories, some history about the place. Everybody that lives here will know about this little walk, I imagine. We're almost level on the right hand side there, and we've still got a bit of a cutting on the left, but this was a deep cutting. It's all been infilled. I believe the track was lifted shortly after closure. I've seen pictures of the station without rails down and with it boarded up as well, with some locomotives nearby. And that'll be our stop after Henshaw Bridge, so we'll catch up with the video when we get there. So we are almost at Henshaw Lane Bridge. The track bed deviates here from the walk because we are now onto a slight embankment. You can see down there, and the houses down there are lower than what I am, but only by about 6 feet. As I drop down, the railway would gone across here through that gap there where all those trees are now. And what I'm going to do is just keep the camera on that line, because now you can see where it's raised, and that's the embankment. And once we get through them gates, you'll get a clearer shot of that. You can see it here quite well. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Which is there. We'll pick this up through those gates. Bit of perspective, there's our gates we've just gone through. This is the embankment now, through there. 10 feet high at the moment, something like that. It has been lowered. Now move it on, and we've got Henshaw Lane Bridge there. And this is what Henshaw Bridge looks like today. You can see the abutments at that side, remaining post there, and this side has been completely taken down, and that is the way we've just come from, and the station would be up there above that side there. Now we can see some posts on the other side of the road. I'll get closer to those. We've got these concrete posts here, and another one at that side. And I think, according to the maps, this was a footpath up towards the station, which is on the other side of there, which is now a council yard. So that's the bottom of our bridge there. The footpath would have come up here. That's the embankment, and the station was just in there, which is all gone. That is now council land. I have tried to gain access to that, but nobody's replied to any emails to line any photos up. But we'll go around and I'll show you from the other side. Now it's believed this bridge was taken down to let buses through easier. And there is a picture of a bus going through this bridge, taken from about there. What we're looking at here is the back of the railway station, or what used to be, about there, all gone. Now all this was railway sidings, and it looks like there's nothing left, but there is this old building here. Now it looks old enough to be associated with the railway, but it doesn't have an entrance big enough for a train, so maybe it was a workshop, maybe it was here during the railway's lifetime, which I think it was, but I've no evidence, and it doesn't match up with any buildings on a map, and there are no photographs of this yard. So we'll get round to where the old track bed was. So the railway station used to be about there, and I'll be lining some pictures up for you. I'm stood on what is the old embankment, which is now all being built on. There's a modern company that's here, but you can still see that the embankment is here. It's been cut off and a retaining wall's been put in, but that is all the embankment there. And I'd just like to thank the gentleman from this company for letting me on his property to film this. I am here with permission. But as you can see, the embankment's been cut away, but it does rise up through them steps over there. So we'll get to the gates and we'll have a look at what's left over there. So now I'm at the other end. You can see the embankment stepping up and continuing on till we've got a 6-foot wall here. The road rising up, levelling out. And you can see how that goes nice and level now. And what happened here is that I'm on the track bed, and it will have come down the edge there, down here, where them people are walking, and curled round to the left, and that's where we're going to go next. So I've moved down a little bit. This is where the railway line used to come. Now it used to split off about here, and one half used to go curl round and following that road round there, and I'll show you what's round there in a minute. And then this bit used to go straight on, and it used to end at that road there, and that was it. That's considered Rawdon beyond that road. But this part here came to one of the mills, and it came curling round here, and it followed this road here, and it's still got that curve built into it. Even though it closed in 1964, it used to go to that mill there. You can see the chimneys. Now if you follow that road end there, you'll see that archway there, and that's where we're going next, on the other side. So I've had to come back on a different day to film this part. Camera didn't record. We've had a bit of a downpour, so it might look a little bit wet. Behind me is what we've come to see and what's on the other side of that camera, because this is the end of the line. I'll turn the camera around and we'll have a look. If you remember the road that bends round, so there's our archway where the trains would have come through, locomotives. The tracks up until a few years ago, before they started renovating all this, were down. You can see them, and there was a turntable at the end over there. So our road that curves round is here, through there, and then it would have come through this archway. Have a look at that at this side. And our tracks would have gone down there, a single track. and we are almost at the end of the line. Now I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please like, share and subscribe. If you worked at this mill, please write in the comments of what you remember of working here. Here we can see, thankfully it remains here still. It's been converted into apartments. It's not been pulled down, and from what I can figure on some old maps is there was a turntable here and then a little short stretch just probably running around to about where that doorway is, and that was the end of the line. This turntable was really small. It only had to carry little goods carts, and this is dye works and cotton mill and wool. No longer. Green Lane Mills it's called. And that is the end of our line. Now I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please like, share and subscribe. If you're from Yeadon and you remember this place, please write in the comments on the video what you remember of this place. 28 days later I have been to this mill, so you can see those pictures online before it was all renovated and what was left here. In the meantime, like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, and take care.